All right, let's jump right in. We're talking about illegal gold mining in Ghana, which has a local name, Galamsey. But what we're really going to unpack today is the government's response to it. And honestly, it often looks less like a real policy and more like, well, a big show.
I mean, picture this. It's not just a few officers. We're talking full-blown military operations, with these intense names like Operation Vanguard and Operation Halt 2. You've got soldiers deploying, bulldozers just rolling in and crushing equipment, and of course, the media's right there, cameras rolling for the whole thing. It is pure theater, a massive show of force that's designed to look like they're getting tough.
So you'd think all that would solve the problem, right? All that muscle. But here's the part that just doesn't add up. After all the headlines and all the dramatic raids, the problem of Galamsey isn't just sticking around. In many cases, it's actually getting worse. So that's the big question for us today. What is really going on behind this curtain of enforcement?
Okay, so to start peeling back the layers here, we have to ask a simple question. Who are these crackdowns actually going after? Because as you're about to see, justice in this story, well, it's not blind at all. And just so we're all on the same page, when we say Galamsey, that's the local word for this kind of illegal, small-scale mining. It's a huge issue in Ghana. For some, it's a way to survive, but it's also causing absolutely catastrophic damage to the environment. And this is where it gets really interesting. It's like a tale of two different worlds. In one corner, you have the visible miner. Think young people, often poor, with zero political connections. They're the ones you see on the news getting arrested. Their gear gets smashed up for the cameras. But then, in the other corner, you have the hidden financier. These are the wealthy, powerful elites, the ones with friends in high places. They're bankrolling the whole operation, buying the excavators, and making a fortune smuggling gold. And guess what? They almost never get touched. Never. Now, you might think, oh, they just missed the big guys. But no, this is the key. It's not an accident. It's not a bug in the system. It is the system. It is literally designed this way. Punish the little guy, the disposable worker, while the powerful people driving this whole thing stay completely safe. It keeps the profitable machine running. So, if the real goal isn't to stop Galamsey for good, then what's the point of all this drama? Why put on the big show? Well, that's where the politics come in. And it forces you to wonder, right? Are these crackdowns really about protecting the environment and saving the rivers? Or are they about something else entirely? Like maybe managing how the public feels and controlling the story that gets told. You see, there's a cycle, and once you see it, you can't unsee it. It starts with public outrage, and for good reason. The media shows all this terrible environmental destruction. Then, step 2, often right before an election, bam, a huge, flashy military crackdown is launched. The cameras are there, everyone looks tough, but then the media moves on. And just as quietly, the enforcement fades away. And what happens next? The mining starts right back up again, sometimes even more organized than before. One of the sources we looked at had the perfect word for this: transactional. The enforcement isn't about consistently applying the law. It's a political tool. You pull it out of the toolbox when you need to look good to show you're doing something, and then you put it right back when it gets in the way of, powerful people making money. This whole song and dance can only happen because the system itself is fundamentally broken. And you guessed it, those cracks in the system, they're really good for a very small group of people. So why does this keep happening over and over? It really boils down to 4 big things. 1, the rules are weak and there's nobody really watching. 2, just plain old corruption. People are getting paid to look the other way. 3, you've got real desperation. People are poor, there are no jobs, so they turn to mining to feed their families. And 4, this is the big one, the powerful financiers have political cover. They're protected. And the cost of this, the cost to regular people, is just staggering. It actually makes poverty worse for the miners who get caught in this cycle. It creates a ton of anger and mistrust towards the government. I mean, how could it not? And all the while, the environment gets destroyed. The water, the land, leaving people feeling like they have no control, no power at all. So at the end of the day, it's just a raw, unfair deal. The entire system is set up to punish the people at the very bottom, the ones with the least responsibility, while the people at the top who are causing all the damage get a free pass. So what's the big picture here? What does all this really tell us? Well, this whole Galamsey issue, it's like holding up a mirror. And what it shows us says a lot more than just what's happening with mining.
Yeah, think about that. It's not just a mining problem. That mirror reflects a society's real values. It shows you what level of corruption is considered acceptable. It shows you who is above the law. And most importantly, it shows you who is expected to pay the price for everyone else.
And look, even though we're talking about Ghana, this isn't just a story about one country. This is a story you see all over the world. It's about what happens when the systems that are supposed to protect people fail, when inequality gets completely out of control, and when justice has a different set of rules depending on who you are.
Which really leaves us with one last tough question to chew on. When you see a system like this, all performance, no real results, a system that hammers the poor while protecting the rich, you have to ask yourself, who is this system really for? Is it for justice? Or is it just there to serve the people who are at the very top, pulling the strings and profiting from all this destruction?